Chairman, welcome again. Only one place to start, isn't there, really, with the trophy there sat behind you. How does it feel to have finally won that and completed the treble?
You know, it feels... I was actually chatting with Pep late this morning. Relief. It reminds me, winning this, it reminds me back to 2011-12. That QPR game, the first Premier League. There was relief in that game and then happiness. With the Champions League, we've tried so hard for so many years, you know that. And then to finally do it last night, it's relief. It's happiness, but it's really more relief. We finally have that trophy right here.
And how special was it that Sheikh Mansour was here to see his team win that trophy?
You know, the most special. I mean, it's an incredible, you know, for Sheikh Mansour, given everything he has given to this club, given all the commitment, you know, years of support, love, he's given passion to the club, and to, at the pinnacle of the final of the Champions League, to be here, to be able to attend it. He has so much love for this club, and working with him over the last 15 years as part of City Football Group, he deserves this. He really does, and I'm so happy he was there yesterday.
It felt like in the Champions League, felt like a really finally grown in, after all these years of trying, finally grown into the competition, that there's a sense of, yeah, we belong here and we're comfortable here now.
Well, we're arguably one of the most consistent teams in the Champions League for the last 10 years. Consistently in the group stages, consistently going forward. And if you look at just the last 5 years, quarterfinals, final, semifinals, finals, and winning. So there's a consistency in our performances in the Champions League. I think as a team, we're very mature as an organization, very mature as a club overall. I think our fans, one of the great things, particularly this season, I found, is how the fans have embraced the Champions League. Truly a fortress. What the fans give to the team spills over in the performances. And if you look at, you know, Real Madrid semifinals, 4-0, Bayern Munich quarterfinals, 3-0, Leipzig, round of 16, 7-0. And I hope and I wish that we can just take this now to another level. We are, you know, the Ittihad is becoming what we always hoped for, which is truly the 12th man we always needed. And the players appreciate it, the coaches appreciate it, we appreciate it, the management team. Thank you, really, thank you to the fans for that. And exciting times.
And if we move to this trophy, I think it's over my right shoulder. In terms of the Premier League, it's, you know, it's 3 out of 3, 5 out of 6. And in the last decade, 6 wins, 2 seconds, 1 third and 1 fourth. How proud are you? I mean, you touched on it just then, but how proud are you of that record? It's an era, isn't it?
It's actually the record I'm most proud of, because it's a testament to everything we're doing and all the hard work that this club and every employee, everyone associated with the club, I think is so proud of. Because there was the UEFA dinner on Friday night, and I was asked a similar question: what's so special about Manchester City and about this group? And I said, it's that this winning mentality that produces the consistency you've just described, year in, year out, not for 1 year, not for 2 years, not for 3 years, 10 years, across every competition we play in, at every level, we play to win. We play to win, and that play to win applies to everyone. It's the players, it's the coaching staff, it's the physios, it's the management, the commercial guys, it's the receptionists, it's the folks at the kitchens, it's the media team, it's the digital team. Every individual associated with this club, with this group, I think share that passion, that commitment.
And it's remarkable. I mean, we've done the double, forget the treble, no, we won't forget it, but put the treble to one side. We've done the double twice in 5 years, and kind of puts it in some kind of perspective.
We're building a legacy for this club, a new modern legacy. And this modern legacy is in the modern Premier League. And it's the last 10 years, it's the last 15 years. And I think in that, what Manchester City continues to achieve, today the treble is, the treble only been achieved once. And it's only been achieved once because this is really the most difficult thing to possibly achieve in the world of football. To win the most difficult league in the world, the Premier League, and to win the most difficult competition in the world of sports, in my view, the Champions League, at the same time, combined with another cup competition, a great historic cup competition, the FA Cup, at the same time. It is incredibly, which is why it's only been done once, 24 years ago. And now this team has achieved that. And this team has achieved that against incredible competition in the Premier League from 19 teams that are, as a group, the most competitive league in the world. And then to go in the Champions League and to do so in a run, beating the defending champions, Real Madrid, beating, in the final, an incredible team, Inter Milan, who had an incredible run to get to the final, and then beating also Bayern Munich. It's not like we had an easy run to the Champions League final. We did it the hard way, and we did it with the highest level of football that I think I've ever seen. So, all in all, that treble. Now you combine it with what you said, which is 3 in a row. And by the way, 5 and 6, consistency, and it's the Premier League is always, I think, the foundation to any success. You have to win the Premier League.
And I suppose the obvious question then is, how do you top it? Or is this just the beginning?
Well, you always can top it, because the future is the future, and records are records, and we, as we've done every year, we keep building this legacy and building this incredible legacy every year with new achievements, new records, consistency. You look at next season, and guess what? Look what we have next year. Look what we have this summer. We have the Charity Shield. We have the Super Cup. We have the Club World Cup. The Club World Cup. For the first time, this club is going to be competing in the Super Cup and the Club World Cup, and we want to win these. We want to win these, and we want to add them to the history of this great club, to the legacy of this great club, and everything we do is setting new records and new standards. Today I'm speaking to you. It's amazing, but I'm already thinking about next year. Even yesterday, I think there was a joke between me and Ferran and Chiki and Pep when we had our moment. We looked at each other and it was okay. Now we got to do it again.
But it might be a quintuple next year with the other 2 trophies you mentioned. We obviously need to talk about the main man, don't we? Pep. He's probably made all this possible in the last few years. How important for the club, the players, was it to have him extend his contract when he did?
It was very important because he's such an important part of this club. He's an incredible leader. I knew where Pep's heart was, and I knew where his mind was. So I think I was never really concerned. We've had these conversations before. But the timing was important. The timing was always very important because it gave clarity.
How indicative is it then of the environment that has been created around him, that he's spent 7 seasons in Manchester?
Well, it shows you the environment that we have, which is a special environment. And the environment, every one of us plays a part of this. It's not just the management team, it's not just the players, it's not just the coaching staff, it's the city, it's the fans, it's the people, that entire ecosystem. It's a lifestyle decision, it's a personal decision, it's a human decision, it's a coaching decision for sure from him from a professional standpoint, but it's all of that. And I think what we all provide for Pep is all of that. And that's what's kept him this long.
And talk had on the telephone with him. And I can now reveal that I think he said to you, I know why you've bought me, Chairman. You bought me to win the Champions League.
Absolutely, absolutely. What an addition he has been.
Could you even imagine the impact he's had in his first season?
You know, going back to that conversation, this was, I think, my first conversation post him signing the contract. But what amazed me about Erling is the confidence. He's got something special, Erling, that confidence with respect. And to be having, you know, that conversation post signing your contract with your chairman and saying at the end of that conversation, you know, Mr. Chairman, I'm going to win the Champions League. I'm here to win the Champions League for Manchester City, and we're going to win it. A year ago is really a testament to the greatness of this player and to show you where Erling is going. This is, you know, the beginning, and you know, the scary part. This is just the beginning for Erling.
You kind of think he might need a few weeks to settle in. One Community Shield game, which he admits he didn't play well, and then on fire.
Well, that's the beauty of Erling is that he's a champion. He's never satisfied. If it's one goal, if it's no goals, if it's one goal, if it's two goals, if it's 5 goals, even if it's 5 goals. You know, I remember when he scored 5 after the game, he was telling me, yeah, but I should have scored another 3 or 4. Genuinely, not joking. Like in his mind, he knows I should have probably scored 7 that night or 8 that night. That's that winning mentality. That's that winning recipe, which, you know, is the intangible. That's the intangible, the anomaly that makes you great. And in Erling, I think this club now, we have an unbelievable player.
And of course, he didn't go to the World Cup, but 16 others did. I mean, one, how did that make you feel? And I guess a special mention for Alvarez, who has now, at his tender age, won everything there is to win in world football.
Listen, I think for our club to have that number of players play in the World Cup, I think is a source of pride. I think for the whole organization, and they represented us well, all of them. I think all went to the World Cup, had great performances, and then you have, of course, we have our World Cup winner in Alvarez, and Alvarez, again, another amazing young man. He comes in and you look at what he's achieved in this club already, but beyond that, what he's achieved professionally over the last 12 months. It's extraordinary. It's extraordinary. But again, humble, hard worker, wants to constantly improve, and that's the mentality that you want in a young champion.
When you talk of humble, one name comes to mind, and that's
tremendous, absolutely tremendous. He is, I mean, as our captain, to be the captain of this club in this historic treble, lifting the Premier League first, and then the FA Cup, and then last night the Champions League. He will go down. He will go down in the folklore of Manchester City forever. He has been the first signing of Pep to Manchester City. He started off, I remember him when he came in. Always, Pep, he's a captain. He is a captain, and he's a representation of this club in terms of hard work, commitment always, humbleness, winning mentality, and when you need him in the big games, in the event, if you're not fully understandable, we always have to respect our players, their wishes.
We actually operate with quite a small men's first team squad. Is that by design? Is that Pep's choice? Is that what he wants to do? And then bring the youth players through?
We have a high quality small squad, but it's not what I think is the perception, which is that we operate with a huge squad. That is not the case. And that's also something that we've been pretty consistent on over the last couple of years. I think our manager prefers to work with a smaller group. And I think here it's important to note and thank a very, you talk about unheralded heroes, our medical team. Our medical team and physios. They have been phenomenal. And they are such a critical component to the success and to your question in terms of the size of the squad. In every single competition, with a relatively small squad, if you look at almost every important game, we arrived almost with a fully fit squad. The psychology of the team of accepting that a rotation policy, and accepting this is not a fixed starting 11. This is a group, and this squad, this small squad does it all together, and everybody has a role to play.
So I guess you're kind of in a footballing nirvana at the moment, recognised as the biggest brand in the world, all the major silverware in the trophy cabinet. I mean, from a chairman's point of view, surely it doesn't get any better than that, does it?
It does. I can see how it does better. Get better. It always can get better. I think we are in an incredible place, and I am deeply humbled on behalf of everyone associated with this group, with this club, of what's been achieved.
The ongoing case with the Premier League, in terms of that, what are your views on the charges, the timing of them, the number of them? Are you happy to talk about them?
So obviously I can't talk about them, unfortunately, for legal reasons. What I would typically do is always comment after. So I think we're going through the legal process, and these are proceedings that take whatever time they take, and when we're done, we'll have a conversation, and I'll give you my very blunt views. I promise you that. I have very strong views on that, but I am going to be, unfortunately, very restrained today.
I'm sure. I mean, I understand that fully, but I mean, surely you've got a view on the way the club is being, not the word, characterised in the wake of the charges.
Yes, of course. I mean, that's very frustrating, because it takes so much from the great work that's happening in this club. And it's happening not just on the football pitch. The football pitch, we talked about it. What these players have achieved this year, the treble, is incredible. And I hope people focus and judge them for their football and what they're achieving on the pitch and what they're achieving in every competition they're in. That's the reality. The club as a whole is well run, is very well run. Today, the value of this group is over $6 billion. We've created so much value. We've brought in world-class investors in this. Why? Because we have a commercial machine here that is one of the best in the world. Our executives are being targeted by the best teams in the world, always. By the way, is a credit to us. I respect that. People appreciate. We are producing not just the best talent on the pitch, not just the best talent in the academies, not just the best talent in the group, but we're producing some of the best executives in the world, some of the best scouts in the world, some of the best coaching staff in the world. And that's a testament to, I think, the great work that this group is doing. We're the #1 football brand in the world. These are the facts. These are the facts. The club generates, I think, tremendous revenue. You look at our sales in terms of what we produce, in terms from our academy, from our first team. I mean, look at last year. I mean, look at our net spend figures. I mean, we can go in for half an hour right now with me just giving you data in terms of net spend over the last season, net spend over the last 3 years, over the last 5 years, over the last 10 years. Look at every single one of them, and just look at these as the facts and compare us to our competition. And then, people will throw at us, you're the biggest spenders, you have the biggest squad. Again, I wish people can just pause and ask the question and get the facts and then comment.
You've got that twinkle in your eye now.
Of course, of course. We have so much more to achieve. And the challenge continues and the journey continues, and hopefully next year we'll be able to produce another special year.